This conference will now be recorded.
So far, we imported only info type 8, guys. Okay, but we have not imported 14 and payments and deductions. So this one, import other payments and deductions. Import other payments and deductions. What does it import? In off cycle, it imports which input? Info type
267. Info type 267.
in original imports
14 and 15.
Except 267, all other payment import types. IT 15, 57, 2010.
yes, these are the info types and benefits data. Next, XAL0, INAL, UAL0, AL. Okay, UAL. AL. Okay, so here, this is the most important piece here, guys. Schema in any country. So this is where the actual gross salary is calculated. Okay, AL. The first point, it executes salary proration. This is also called absence valuations and factoring and salary reduction. And salary reduction. Okay, salary reduction. So generally when employee joins in the mid-month, we don't pay full salary, right? We pay eligible salary. Yes or no? When employee takes unpaid leave, again the salary is reduced. When employee is left in the mid of the month, again the salary is reduced. So that's what the topic is here. Calculating the actual salary, it is also called salary proration, factoring and salary reductions. So this is where the actual eligible salary is calculated. Actual eligible salary is calculated. Okay. Then calculate the gross salary. Final gross salary. In technical ways type /101. Yeah, /101. With this, the gross part is completed. The gross salary calculation part is completed with this. Okay. Next one. The net is started. In the net salary part, there is something called statutory net or net salary is net salary. This part deals with only deductions, guys. Deals with deductions. and employer contributions. Deductions and employer contributions. Okay, deductions and employer contributions. Deductions are two types. Deductions are two types. Statutory deductions, non-statutory deductions. Statutory deductions and non-statutory deductions. Statutory deductions and non-statutory. Statutory deductions are more of like mostly this is taxes in USA. Okay, USA. In India, there are many statutory deductions. Taxes, Provident Fund, ESI deduction, professional tax, Labor Welfare Fund. These are statutory deductions. The second one, non-statutory deductions. The non-statutory deductions total is stored in /110. Remember this. Okay. So what we have, deductions from 14, 15, 57, benefits, garnishments, all this total, loans, okay, all this total deductions are part of /110. So earnings, all earnings are part of /101. All non-statutory deductions are part of /110. Okay. So once we arrive the statutory deductions and non-statutory deductions, what is the next step? Calculation of net pay from current period. Calculation of net pay from current period, which is /562, 60 and /562. Okay. Calculation of net pay from current period. So this is not a final net pay. So adjustments from last payroll period. Okay, and then adjust retro differences in /560. These are common wage steps in all the countries, and /562. Now we have a final net pay. So after adjusting, this is the final take-home salary of employee, guys. Clear? Final take-home salary of employee. Okay, now so and then we generate the bank transfer.
Sir, is there any difference between 560 and 562, sir?
You will understand in the next coming classes. Okay.
Okay, sir. And sir, contribution, sir, just 1 second. Sir, in /110, the contribution goes from 14, 15, 57, and these benefits and garnishment only, loans also.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Once bank transfer is generated, then move all /5 series to RT table. And then update cumulative results CRT table. Okay, CRT table. And then export results to the cluster. This is the net part, guys. Precisely, this is what happens in the net part. Okay. Now, let me explain. Here, the one point I missed, statutory net is calculated. What do you mean by statutory net pay? Okay. This is a waste step, technical waste step 550, guys. This is /101. What is /101?
Final gross pay.
Gross pay.
Gross.
So /101 minus statutory deductions, not non-statutory deductions. /101 minus non-statutory statutory deductions. So here /101 minus yourself in mute. /101 minus taxes in USA and India. All these deductions will be subtracted from 101 to arrive this statutory net. And then calculation of net pay from the current period. What does it do? /550 plus /110. What is 110? Deductions, right? Non-statutory deductions. Then why are we doing this addition here? Because it's already a negative amount. Okay, minus into plus minus only. So indirectly it is remaining statutory net minus non-statutory deductions to arrive net pay from the current period. Clear? Net pay from the current period. So adjustment from the last period is what? So add 565. Okay, all these things we will discuss later. Ignore it if I explain too much. So now, when we discuss about the schemas, guys, the same part, how it is executed using the schemas. Look at it. Before we get into the net salary calculation, what system does in every country is save runtime tables. Save runtime tables in a temporary runtime tables. Okay, save. So what is that? XTBS. Okay, INBSIS. Okay, let me see. Yeah, NBS. UTBS. Okay. Okay. So this is INBS in India. In USA, it is UTBS. What does it do is save the tables into the runtime tables before loop run. Okay, before loop run. This one, BS. What it does is, before we get into the loop, this IT is moved to UIT table, RT table is moved to URT table, IT is moved to UIT table, RT is moved to URT table. Why? If the loop run is started, loop begin, between loop beginning and loop run, loop end, these tables are modified. These tables are modified, IT and RT. Okay. And the loop run means what? There are several times all the schemas and functions between this loop begin and loop end repeatedly executed. That's what loop means. Okay. It'll first execute until loop end and check the condition. If condition is not met, it'll again go back and repeat the same schemas and PCRs and repeat the same schemas and PCRs. So every time when you come back to the loop beginning, you want the values of the original tables. You want the values of the original tables to be used as it was before the loop begin. You want to reload the original values every time you come back to the loop. And that's why SAP has provided this logic. XTBS in the schema in the loop begin, XTBL is used. What does it do? Okay. Load temporary tables into original runtime tables. Okay, so it means UIT. What is UIT here? What is UIT here?
IT.
It is the IT before the loop begin. Understood? It is the IT table before the loop begin. It's original IT table. Within this loop, there is a chance that IT table is modified, RT table is modified. I don't want to use IT table and RT table, modified IT table and modified RT table when the loop begins again. When I come back to the loop beginning again. When I come back to the loop beginning, the IT and RT should be the values which were there before loop begin. So that's why SAP has applied this logic. Every time you come back to the loop, it is like again a fresh run. It doesn't use the modified values. Then why are we doing multiple runs? We just wanted to check the available gross is enough for the deductions or not. Okay, available gross salary is enough for the deductions. Sometimes gross will be lesser than the total deductions. In such a case, we cannot generate the net pay, negative net pay. So in the first run, what we do is, first we calculate all non-statutory deductions, and then calculate all statutory deductions, and then calculate first statutory net minus gross salary minus statutory deductions. Okay, gross salary minus statutory deductions. Okay,
Statutory deductions means all income tax and PF and all this, no?
What does the statutory deduction mean?
Cert income tax, PF, labor welfare, like all this, ESI.
That's all. That's what we are deducting.
Right, right.
First statutory deductions have to be deducted because those are legal deductions. After that, non-statutory deductions are deducted. So after deducting the non-statutory deductions, is it a negative? Is there a deduction amount cannot be taken? This is a very good logic applied by SAP. If you understand it, it is really, I mean, I would say it is a beautiful logic in SAP. These deductions, non-statutory deductions, can be deducted in a particular order with a priority. So at one point, the gross will be completed. There are certain deductions left, not deducted, because of no availability of gross. To calculate and to identify that the deductions cannot be taken in this month because of net pay, less net pay, we run a loop runs. In the second run, we go back and reduce the deductions to the level of net pay, to the level of available gross pay, so that you will not have a negative net salary. You can see the deductions not taken recovered in the next month. Okay, deductions not taken in the next month. We can identify that. That's why we have a loop beginning here. So for example, I have available gross 101 10,000. I have available gross, we have a 10,000. Okay, and slash 110 13,000 we have, let's say 9,000 we have, and taxes 3,000 we have. Okay, 3,000 we have. So this total 110 is a combination of three waste types. Deduction 1 equal to 2,000, deduction 2 equal to 3,000, deduction 3 equal to 4,000. Okay, now so what is order first? In the first run we calculate the tax.
Yes,
In
sir.
the first run we calculate the tax,
Yeah.
and then we calculate the statutory net pay. What is the statutory net pay here? 10,000 minus gross minus statutory deductions taxes. What
7,000.
is the balance left? 7,000. Then we apply the priorities of these deductions. Let's say the first priority is this, the second priority is this, third priority is this. So from the 7,000, the first priority D2 is subtracted. D2 is subtracted. So what is the balance left?
4,000.
4,000 balance. And the second priority
D1.
D1. So 2,000 is subtracted. What is the balance left?
2,000.
2,000 left. Third priority D2, D3 is left. We have 4,000, but available balance is 2,000. What happens here? 2,000 deducted and 2,000 DD and TK. What does it mean? Deduction
Not taken.
not taken. Okay, deduction not taken. To
Sir, so
calculate
this
this,
2,000 will,
tell
so
me.
2,000 will go to the slash 563, sir, claims.
No, that is different scenario. Okay, so this 2,000 DD and TK deduction not taken. Okay, from which way type? From which way type this is?
D3.
D3. To identify this, we run the first run. Run 1 is to execute the entire payroll simulation and see if there is any deduction not taken exist. If deduction not taken exists, then run loop again. Then it will go back to run 2. Okay, it will start from here again. It will start from the beginning again. So when run 2 is executed, XTBL is again executed. So import the waste types of original waste types into ID table, RT into URT table. Sorry, URT into RT. Clear? Now here we learned what is the DDNTK, right? In the first run. Okay, reduce deduction D3 or reduce the deduction with deduction not taken. In the second run, we reduce this deduction. Which deduction is reduced? With the DDNTK, D3 2000 is reduced from D3. So this becomes 2000. So in the second run, what will be the net pay? Non-statutory net pay? 7,000. Right? So now 2000 is completely deducted. No amount. No loop is necessary. No loop run is necessary. Execute directly loop end. That's what happens. So what is the deduction cannot be taken? To identify that, we have a loop runs concept here. So if there is a DDNTK, definitely there is a run 2. If there is no DDNTK, there won't be any run 2. Okay. So unless I complete the payroll run for the deductions net part, I cannot calculate DDNTK. I have to calculate the taxes, I have to calculate the garnishments, and then see which waste types cannot be taken, which waste types can be taken. The cannot be taken waste types, this one is also stored in arrear table. Arrears. When it is stored in arrear table, it is going to be recovered. So this D3 will be recovered from employee salary in the next month, subsequent month. And that's what this schema XTBL. So when we execute run 2 right from loop beginning, it needs the original values of IT and RT which were there before this function. That's why saving the tables before loop run, importing the original tables back every time we come back to the loop beginning. Okay, so that's what happens here. We will see it practically when we go to that scenario. Yeah. Now, what is the next schema? Next, XDD0. INDD. Okay, UDD0. So DDR D0 generally. Okay, deductions. So what happens here? benefit deductions are calculated. Okay, benefit deductions are calculated, and then calculate /110. Okay, so which contains what? At this stage, garnishment is not yet calculated. Garnishments are calculated in the next stage. So we have all these deductions updated in 110. That's what XDD0. Okay, and then taxes are calculated in USA. Okay, there is a separate schema for it. Okay, and then garnishments are calculated. There is a separate schema for it. Garnishments also a deduction. Garnishments are calculated. So this is ordered. Okay, if it is India, then all these are calculated. There is a schema for it. Tax is calculated. EF is calculated. Provisional tax is calculated here. Labor welfare fund calculated here. ESI is calculated. All these are calculated here at this stage. Okay. Then once these are arrived, X NN 0 IN, oh no, it is INA9, I guess. INA 0. What does it do? Net NA. Calculate net pay. Okay, calculate net pay. So this is where first we calculate the statutory net. From the statutory net, deduct, reduce the deductions. Priority and calculate net pay. Calculate net pay from current period. Adjust net pay with the amounts from last month. Okay, this is what happens here. Then X NN0 IN sorry. This is retro. Calculate retro differences and adjust from Generate. And then XEN0. XEND, sorry. Okay. Update CRT table. Update CRT table and export the results to the cluster. So almost 90% of the times, okay, 90% of the times, this flow remains same in all the countries. Okay. So if you keep this order in mind, you will be able to work on support issues easily. Okay, you will be able to work on the support issues easily. So you need to remember this order. You need to remember this order. Okay, very, very important. Clear? So the data, how the data is processed step by step, you will understand it. So if you have any issues related to the 1415, then you directly go to this part. If you have any issues related to the deductions calculations, then you go to this part. If you have any issues related to the taxation and bank transfer, then you directly go to this schema. So you can directly go to that particular point and fix the issue. If you do not know this flow, it's very difficult to analyze the issue. It's very difficult to analyze the issue. Remember it. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello. Sir, this you have mentioned here taxes, garnishments, and Indian taxes statutory deductions, right? For that, the schema is XNA0, INA0, UNA0, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So country, no. This one is different. In India, we have a separate schema. Country to country, that schemas are different. I'm not mentioning the country specific schemas here. It is X. I'm not mentioning the country specific calculation schemas. INN1 is India.
Taxes. Okay.
In USA, it is UTX0, UGARN. UTX0 for taxes, UGRN for garnishments. So there are country specific schemas over here. I did not mention this point.
Okay.
That's why in the schemas, I maintained the description here.
Okay. Sir.
These are different schemas in other countries.
Okay.
Okay. So remember this flow, guys. Okay. Try to read it and see if you are able to write the flow of the schema without looking at the notebook, without listening to the video again. Okay. First read it. You need to by heart this. At any point of time, we should be able to answer this order of the subschemas in any country. Okay, then only we can explore the payroll. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yeah. That's all for today. Tomorrow we start with reading the schema right from beginning, initialization part. Tomorrow I'll not take session for you. I'm thinking of taking a longer session for payslip. If I complete the payslip, okay, let's see.
Sir, can we take a screenshot of this notepad?
Take it. I'll send it in the group. 5 minutes. Okay. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
sir. Today's
Catch you tomorrow. If you don't have a session tomorrow, I'll send you the message. Okay.
yes, sir.